Mercedes is going to win the Singapore Grand Prix. Yes, you heard it right. And no, I know what you're thinking. I was not hit by a bunch of falling bricks earlier. Now, let me explain why Mercedes is gonna win. We have seen throughout this season that the Mercedes is a very draggy car. This comment was also previously voiced by their 7-time world champion Lewis Hamilton. But while drag is super beneficial for a Formula One car, allowing the car to hug the track and keep its speed and balance while turning, it can definitely sometimes be bad, especially during fast straights when you need the car to absolutely fly. Does that explain drag? Good, let's carry on. The Formula One calendar does offer a variety of different circuits, like the Temple of Speed at Monza, where all you need is straight line speed, the streets of Monaco, where high drag is needed throughout the entire track, to Spa's Circuit de Francorchamps, where you need a fast car for the straights and drag for the middle twisty sections. And just like Monaco, Singapore is a high downforce track, which means cars need higher drag. While we have seen Red Bull and Max Verstappen take a step forward with every single session this year, making them seem almost unstoppable no matter what the circuit. High downforce, low downforce, long straights, twisty corners, you name it, Red Bull seems to have mastered it. And Red Bull have dominated at Singapore before. I'm sure longtime fans of F1 are sure to remember Vettel's days of dominating the twisty, fast-paced circuit. The good news is Mercedes know they have a draggy car. And they have been world champions 8 times. 8 times! You do not become an 8-time champion of anything by just sheer luck, which means the team already know how to maximize performance. All they need to do is get the best out of their already draggy car in Singapore. This is where the experience of being an 8-time world champion comes in handy. Mercedes have been able to maximize every single race weekend this season. They have been so consistent, it's actually scary. Imagine if they had a good car this season, like any of the cars they had in the previous seasons in the hybrid era. It would be an all Mercedes 1 and 2 for the entire season, and not a Max Verstappen Masterclass as we have been experiencing right now. Not to mention, Ferrari also have a good car this year. And Ferrari have proved that they are able to generate enough downforce through corners while still being able to go fast on the straights. Something Mercedes have struggled with all season. But Singapore is a tough track because of its tight, twisty sections. Drivers need to be in full-on concentration mode for the entirety of the race. So, it might not actually be Ferrari's best track. Charles Leclerc, Ferrari's golden boy, although an amazing talent, has instances where he seems to lose his concentration and just bin it. The most recent event being at the French Grand Prix, where the Monegasque was sailing along in P1 only to lose his concentration and put it into the wall. And unlike Monaco with its high downforce and twisty sections, Singapore is worse. It's a street track whose barriers actually do not let any air enter or exit the circuit, keeping all that heat generated by the Formula One cars within the narrow confines of the circuit. Formula One cars do not have an air conditioning system for their drivers, which means they have to rely on good old wind passing them by, keeping them cool. When they have to rely on hot, turbulent air from all the cars going around to keep them cool, I can't imagine it's any fun. Drivers like Lewis Hamilton and Jenson Button, world champions, also came out and said that Singapore is a physically and mentally tough track. Not only that, but Lewis previously claimed that he lost up to 10 pounds in a single race during a Singapore Grand Prix. That is just unbelievable. No one tell Hollywood unless you want models lining up the grid for a Grand Prix next year. With Singapore being the toughest race on the calendar, both physically and mentally, Charles and Ferrari have a tough time keeping Max Verstappen and the drivers from Mercedes at bay. With Red Bull slowly developing their car farther away from Ferrari, we may see Charles overdo it in his Ferrari to try and keep up with Max Verstappen, which is sure to affect his concentration even more. Not to mention, while all other drivers have been preparing for the Singapore Grand Prix in the most grueling ways imaginable, like George Russell and Carlos Sainz posting videos of them working out in a sauna to resemble Singapore's drastic conditions, Charles has been, and I kid you not, freezing himself. I mean, mate, what are you doing? The race is gonna be hot, not in Antarctica. Another strategy blunder by Ferrari, maybe? Of course, I am kidding. Charles knows what he's doing, right? Right? So, this weekend would be the best opportunity for this naturally draggy Mercedes W13 car to get its first win, if it's going to get any wins at all, before being retired at the end of this season. Do you think Mercedes will get their first win this weekend? If so, do you think it will be George or Lewis who gets the win? Or do you think it will be another Max Verstappen Masterclass? Maybe he just starts from 3 laps down and still wins the race with fastest lap. Who knows? Let us know in the comment section below.
Thank you for listening to today's segment of Newsflash or Flash News. I haven't really decided. If you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel. If you have other ideas of videos you would like to see on qualifying, please comment below.